Be me, 28, working as a Tier 2 tech support drone for some faceless insurance company. Live in a shoebox apartment with my girlfriend of 6 years, let's call her Chloe. We met in our last year of college. She was this vibrant, artsy girl who thought my quiet, nerdy vibe was mysterious. I was just a shy dude who was good at fixing her constantly crashing MacBook. The first few years were great. We were that couple. You know the one. Broke as hell, living off instant noodles and cheap beer, but we had us. We'd spend weekends hiking, watching old movies, and just talking for hours. It felt real. Fast forward to now. The magic has kind of evaporated. I'm grinding away at a job I hate, staring at a screen all day, dealing with idiots who can't figure out how to turn their computers on. The pay is just enough to keep us from drowning, but not enough to actually live. Chloe's a freelance graphic designer, which sounds cool, but it's feast or famine. Mostly famine. The silence between us has gotten loud. Our evenings are spent on opposite ends of the couch, scrolling through our phones. She's constantly on Instagram, and I can almost hear her thoughts as she looks at her friends' engagement photos and vacation pics from Italy. That look of quiet disappointment is becoming her default expression. One Tuesday night, she puts down her phone and looks at me. The air in the room suddenly feels heavy. "This isn't working," she says, her voice barely a whisper. My stomach drops. I knew things were bad, but I guess I was in denial. She tells me she feels stuck, that she loves me, but she's not in love with me anymore. She says she needs more. She wants a partner who is driven, who has ambition. Each word feels like a small, precise stab to the chest. I try to defend myself. I tell her I'm looking for better jobs, that I'm trying to save, that this is just a rough patch. She just shakes her head, her eyes welling up. I'm 27, Anon. I can't wait forever for our life to start. It comes out that she's been talking to someone, a guy from her co-working space. His name is Julian. Of course his name is Julian. He's a startup founder, drives an Audi, wears tailored shirts, has a perfect condescending smile. He's the guy in the movie that you're supposed to hate. I feel my entire world collapsing in on itself. The breakup is a slow, agonizing process. We divide up our meager belongings. She takes the good IKEA furniture and our cat mittens. I'm left with the lumpy futon and a collection of sad-looking succulents. On the day she moves out, she gives me this pitying look. "I really do hope you find your path, Anon. You deserve to be happy." It sounds less like a sincere wish and more like a final judgment. She was upgrading, and I was being left behind in the bargain bin. The first few months are a blur of misery. The apartment feels cavernous and cold. The silence is deafening. I survive on a diet of frozen pizza and regret. I start calling in sick to work just because I can't face the thought of interacting with other humans. My friend Dave, a good dude from college, tries to pull me out of it. "Dude, you gotta get out of the apartment. Let's go grab a beer." I always make up some excuse. I'm not ready to see happy people yet. One night, in a moment of pure self-flagellation, I look her up on Instagram. There she is, with Julian in some rooftop bar. They're clinking champagne glasses. She's laughing, a real full-throated laugh that I haven't heard in years. The caption reads, "Finally with someone who inspires me to be my best self. Sparkle's number upgrade number power couple." That's it. That's the breaking point. Something in my brain just shifts. A cold, quiet anger starts to burn where the sadness used to be. Fuck this. Fuck them. Fuck feeling sorry for myself. I decide to channel all this negative energy into something productive. I start with the basics. I deep clean the apartment, throwing out all the old junk that reminds me of her. I start running. At first I can barely make it a mile without feeling like my lungs are on fire, but I stick with it. Every time I want to quit, I picture that stupid Instagram post. It's surprisingly effective motivation. At work, I stop just going through the motions. I start learning. I spend my lunch breaks and evenings studying for IT certifications. Oz, Cisco, CompTIA, you name it, I'm studying for it. My boss, a balding, perpetually stressed guy named Mark, starts to notice. "You're really stepping up your game, Anon." I tell him I want more responsibility. I start volunteering for the shittiest, most complex projects that no one else wants. I become a machine. Work, gym, study, sleep, repeat. A year and a half passes. I'm a different person. I've lost 40 pounds and I'm in the best shape of my life. I have a string of professional certifications after my name. Mark promoted me to a network administrator position. The pay is better and the work is actually interesting. I'm saving money. I've even started investing a little bit. Dave finally convinced me to start going out again. I'm awkward at first, but I slowly start to remember how to be a person. I'm not exactly Casanova, but I can hold a conversation. I go on a few dates. They're okay. It's just nice to be reminded that other women exist in the world. One day, I'm at a coffee shop, working on a personal project, a little app I'm developing on the side. I'm in the zone, headphones on, typing away. I feel a tap on my shoulder. I turn around and my heart just stops for a second. It's Chloe. She looks tired. Her vibrant, artsy style has been replaced by a generic-looking mom sweater and yoga pants. Her hair is pulled back in a messy bun, and there are faint dark circles under her eyes. She's holding the hand of a little boy, maybe 2 or 3 years old. Oh my God, Anan. I almost didn't recognize you. I take off my headphones. Hey, Chloe. The small talk is excruciatingly awkward. I tell her I'm doing well, that I got promoted. She tells me she's living in the suburbs now. Julian's startup, it turns out, was more of a start down. It failed spectacularly, and he lost all of his investors' money, and their own. The Audi is long gone. He's now selling insurance for the same company I work for, ironically. She's a full-time mom. She tries to sound happy about it, but her eyes tell a different story. You look really good, she says, her gaze lingering on me for a moment too long. Healthy? I just nod and say, thanks. The little boy starts to fuss, and she uses it as an excuse to leave. It was really good to see you, Anan. You too, Chloe. A few days later, I get a friend request on Facebook. It's her. I hesitate for a long time, my thumb hovering over the confirm button. Curiosity gets the better of me. I accept. Her profile is a sad landscape of baby pictures and passive-aggressive memes about how being a mom is the hardest job in the world. There are no pictures of her and Julian together. A week later, I get a message. Hey, I know this is random, but I was wondering if you'd want to grab a coffee sometime. Just to catch up properly. Every rational part of my brain is screaming no, but there's a small, vindictive part of me that wants to see this through. I agree to meet her. We meet at a neutral, soulless Starbucks halfway between my apartment and her suburban prison. She's alone this time. She looks like she's tried to make an effort. She's wearing makeup and a dress that looks like it hasn't been worn in a while. She launches into a long, rambling monologue about her life. How Julian is always stressed and angry about money. How he resents her for not working. How she feels like she's lost herself, like she's just a mom and nothing else. It all comes tumbling out, a torrent of regret and unhappiness, and then she drops the bomb. I made a mistake, Anan, a huge, terrible mistake. She starts crying, right there in the middle of a crowded Starbucks. He's not the man I thought he was. He's not you. You were always so kind, so patient. She reaches out and puts her hand on mine. I miss you. I miss us. I look at her, this woman who completely destroyed me. This woman who dismissed me as not being driven enough, who threw away 6 years of our lives for a shiny, new toy, and I feel nothing. No anger, no sadness, no satisfaction. It's like looking at a stranger. I gently pull my hand away. I'm sorry you're going through that, Chloe, I say, my voice even and calm, but I've moved on. Her face falls. But you thought what? That I'd just be waiting around for you to come back. I'm not trying to be cruel, but the words come out sharper than I intended. I'm happy now. I have a good job, I have good friends, I'm building a life for myself. A life that you are not a part of. I stand up. I hope you figure things out, for your son's sake. I put a $10 bill on the table to cover our coffees and I walk out without another word. As I walk to my car, I feel a sense of lightness. It's not the triumphant I showed her feeling I always imagined I'd have. It's something quieter, more profound. It's the feeling of closure. The ghost that had been haunting me for the past 3 years was finally gone. Her opinion of me no longer mattered. Her validation was worthless. I had spent so long trying to prove her wrong, to show her that I was worthy. But somewhere along the way, I had started doing it for myself. I wasn't the guy she left behind anymore. I was a new man, a man that I had built from the ground up. A few months later, my app gets acquired by a small tech company. It's not a life-changing amount of money, but it's enough to pay off my student loans and put a down payment on a small condo. I'm at a housewarming party for Dave, who just got engaged. I'm talking to a woman, a friend of Dave's fiancée. Her name is Sarah. She's a teacher, she's funny, and she has this incredibly warm smile. We talk for hours about everything and nothing. It's easy. It's natural. At the end of the night, she asks for my number. I give it to her without a second thought. As I'm driving home, I find myself smiling. A real, genuine smile. The past was the past. It had shaped me. It had forged me in the fires of heartbreak, but it no longer defined me. My life didn't need to be an upgrade from anything. It just needed to be mine. And for the first time, it truly was.